A Filipino Christian couple has just been kicked out of Nepal. They were accused of evangelizing Hindus, and their deportation is the latest example of how a new anti conversion law is being used against Christians in what is supposed to be a secular country. Well, joining us from Kathmandu with more is BP Khanal. He's a Nepali human rights and religious freedom advocate. BP, what can you tell us about this Filipino couple? I know you can't say a lot, but what happened?
Problem with the government and the people in that agency, particularly Immigration Bureau. They just depend on the report of media, particularly when they were reported that they were having business visa and were misusing that to proselytization and preaching the gospel and being involved in church. But in our perspective, when we saw this, though it was late, we heard after the incident already occurred. So we tried to dig out the problem, what was the fact, and then what we found out is that they were more biased because in the ground of human right and particularly freedom of religion or belief, we should know that they must have the right to practice their own faith.
Nepal is supposed to be a secular country now. I know years ago it was a Hindu kingdom, and Christians are very concerned about this new anti conversion law that went into effect. Tell us about that law. Why such a law in a secular society?
Indeed, we are still in transition phase, politically speaking. So when we were trying to promulgate the constitution, there were so many voices per the political ground, even unnecessary voices, that the country should go back and remain as Hindu nation. So now also they have even more focused to prohibit any conversion, and that would be penalized as criminal offense. So this is the development. In our perspective, on the ground of freedom of religion or belief, what we believe is this is not a secular state. Still, this is Hindu state.
And despite that law and those efforts against people becoming Christian, you have about 500,000 Christians now in Nepal. Many more are coming to Christ every day. So, what is happening and why?
Particularly when we talk about conversion ratio, it is not only the Christians are increasing. There are Muslims, even there are other ethnical animism, what you call this, the traditional kind of religious sects are here. They are also increasing. So it is not just the church increasing. There are Muslims, particularly the Nepalis who are working in Gulf countries. There are many converts to Muslim also, but somehow I think the government and the officers are more targeting Christians now. In that ground, they are trying to harass any Christians to penalize that they are involved in conversion business.
Many of our viewers are Christian. So, what should they do about this? And how can they pray for Nepal and the new believers there?
For us, the work of God, the mission, when we say it, is not our effort. This is God working through many ways, many miracles and healings, and so many wonderful things are being happened here since several years, several decades indeed. So church is still active in evangelism, and that's the responsibility church thinks. So everybody is involved here. In that sense, we just ask for prayer that the Lord would work through the local churches believers, every people that they might be able to witness. That's the mandate for every Christians. We believe that we are not to be called a Christian, but we are the witness of Christ.